Hi, this is Matthew from LoveBudi with the Love Tip for today. Just want to talk about death. I want to talk about funerals. The shirt that I'm wearing right now inspired this Love Tip for today because this is the shirt that I had to buy and that I had to wear for my brother-in-law's funeral. Actually, my fiance's brother. Her big brother, only 27 years old, I think, got cancer in his sinuses. And he was already prone to some infections and some problems there. But anyway, there's a tumor that grew, and it was making his eye stick out, and then his eye went blind, and then his other eye went blind, and then he lost all his weight, skin and bones, and then he didn't recognize who his own mother was, and then he passed on. Friday the 13th, September. And that death in the family, of course, it's a terrible thing. It's a difficult thing. What does death mean, though? Death and love. How do you resolve in your mind, where's a person going? Well, the people here in the Philippines, in the small town, Catholic and also local beliefs, they mix it. There's a lot of belief in herb doctors, chicken blood, incantations, ceremonies that last on and on. Does that help? I don't know. People need to believe what they need to believe. Does it matter if you're going to heaven or not? I remember I used to think that I needed to please God when I was born and raised Catholic, and then I was Jehovah's Witness. There was this fear of God, especially with Jehovah's Witnesses. There was a whole hell of a lot more fear that I felt. But with the Catholics, there was also a fear of God, a fear of when you die, what's going to happen. So like Santa Claus, he knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. It's the very same exact principle. You better behave, you better be good, because there's going to be a penalty for you. Well, as time goes on and as we realize the origin of a lot of the primitive beliefs, and as we grow up, we're not kids anymore, we know that living a life full of love is the best we can do. It doesn't matter. Once you die, we don't know what's going to happen because not that many people have come back and told us. Now, we do have the near-death experiences, and those are very consistent overall about someone going toward white light. They're seeing their relatives. They're being welcomed. They're realizing that they had a life that was here for lessons, for learning to love more. And when they are sent back, which we only get to see the people that are sent back, of course, they say, hey, my job isn't done. I have to do this. I have to share love with my kids. I have to, who's a really great example of this is Anita Morjani. And she's doing a really lot of great work in this area where she died and she came back. She had this incredible, her body was so messed up. When she describes the condition of her body, she was just, death would have been such a blessing, such a release from the incredible pain that she was in and from the destruction, sores all over and things and breakdown, the failure of organs and things like that. And, they told her brother, hey, you better fly in and see her because she's going bye-bye. And so she's a really great example because she did have some things that she saw, that she learned, that she came back. If you don't believe in that, that's great. If you believe in heaven, that's great. If you believe in hell, whatever you want to believe. If you believe in nothing, if you believe that when we die, according to Jehovah's Witnesses, for those who aren't going to be resurrected, those who aren't going to heaven, they would cite a scripture that I remember, I can't remember, was it Ecclesiastes, where they said, when a man dies, his spirit goes out, he goes back to his grave, and in that day, he goes back to the soil, the earth, and in that day his thoughts do perish. He doesn't think anything anymore. Well, when spirit goes out, what does that mean, spirit? Well, they talk about the breath of life. To them, it might mean breath. To us, it might mean soul. To us, it might mean your soul is returning to the one big soul. What do I believe? Well, I think we're here to learn to love. And I think that when our body dies, that identity dies. That identity is gone. But I don't like to get locked in too much to this time thing. Love is eternal. And love is a forever infinite loop. We're always learning, we're always growing. It just goes on forever. Nobody's ahead of anybody else. When you're on the planet Earth, who's in front? Who's in the lead? It's around, it's a sphere. How can you be in front of anybody? You're on a ball. That's how love is. You can't be in front of anybody because we're all got to catch up with others. We're all ahead of others. We're all behind others. We're all learning lessons. And whether we're committing horrible acts or whether we're angelic in everything that we do, we're still here to learn to love. And we still need to show love to each other, regardless of what happens when you die. What are you doing right here, right now? What are you doing for your fellow man? How are you treating your pets? How are you treating animals, the animal kingdom in general? How are you treating the earth? Are you destroying the earth? Are you part of that? The destruction of the earth that's going on right now? Are you treating people rudely? Like, mea culpa, that's a lesson that I'm learning. Not getting upset and then saying rude things to people. I'm so sorry. It's a tough one for me. So we all have these lessons that we all need to learn, and that's what life is about. That's what we're here for. Whether you believe in life after death, whether you believe in, fantasies, whether you believe in Santa Claus or, whatever. What is it? Latter-day Saints have 7 levels of heaven, and Buddhism has 7 levels of hell. What does it matter? Do the best you can right now. Love people as much as you. What is love? Compassion, kindness, generosity, nurturing, respect, patience. Self-love is part of developing yourself. So all the love that we talk about you giving to others, animals, and nature, give to yourself too. Love is universal. That's the bottom line. Share love, learn love, be love. Study love, teach love. Do that now. And then we'll see what happens after we die, if anything at all. Thanks so much for listening. This is Matthew from LoveBudi with a love tip for today. I hope your life is filled with love. I hope your day is going wonderfully. I love you. See you next time. Bye-bye.